Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Crossing the Spiritual Streams. My name is Tandra and today we're going to do a Timeless Tarot Pick-a-Pile reading. Not on any particular topic, it's just going to be a timeless reading that we will do charms and oracle spheres with later. And if you're unfamiliar with pick-a-pile readings, basically you focus on the piles, you look at them, and whichever one you're most drawn to, you go ahead and you watch that video and there should be messages there for you. Since this is a timeless reading, whenever you run across this video is when the messages should apply to you. It is possible to be drawn to more than one pile or even all three. There may be messages in each pile for you. That sometimes happens. So if you feel inclined to watch more than one pile, you should do so because there might be messages in both of them for you, or maybe even all three. Okay, so we have pile 1 here, and I also have a seashell with it that kind of has a feathery pattern that's kind of brown and tan with it. We have pile 2 that has a brown shell that has different stripes and all involved with it. And then we have pile 3, which has the gray shell. Okay, we're going to give you a moment or so to reflect on the piles, and there will be timestamps in the description so that you can go to your pile when you are ready, and we will see you there. Pile 1, and welcome to your Timeless Tarot reading. Those of you that chose the feathery looking seashell here, or at least the feather pattern on the seashell, I decided to do a reading like this today because I just wasn't sure what messages needed to come out for people. And this is a timeless reading, as I mentioned earlier, so basically whenever you run across this message, it should apply, or there should be some messages here for you. I wasn't sure what messages needed to come through, so I just decided a nice little 3-pile reading might be useful, and we might get out some good messages that might be useful to hear right now. So here we go. We've got misfortune, and that's kind of interesting. It kind of looks like a fireman. Yeah, almost like it's in a fire or something. Okay. Then we've got the sun. Well, kind of like those two together. We got the 10 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles. I like how this is kind of going back and forth a little bit. 3 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, the Death card, the 8 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, wow. I'm kind of getting, it's interesting how there for a while the cards were kind of going back and forth between one type of feeling and then another type of feeling. You know, we had the misfortune card, and then we had the sun card, which is almost totally opposites. Then we had the 10 of Swords card, and then the 3 of Pentacles card. So it was almost like it kept kind of going back and forth here a little bit, and I'm wondering if I kind of feel like maybe you guys have been on a kind of a roller coaster of emotions and feelings and worries and happy things and then sad things and then, you know, emotion. I feel like this is emotional more than anything, but I feel like you've kind of been going up and down, and kind of just back and forth. And you've had reason to kind of have the depressing moments for sure. And you've worked your way out of that, and you've kind of gone, you know, more towards sunny disposition and feeling you know, more Ace of Cups type happiness and things, and then you kind of maybe go back down into despair a little bit and then back up again. You did have some good reasons for going into this kind of roller coaster ride you've been on. I've kind of got a feeling that several things have happened to you recently over the last few months of your life, maybe even just the last few weeks, but I really feel like this has been ongoing for a while, several months probably. That, like I said, you have something that kind of makes you kind of go downhill and crash, and then something else that kind of makes you go ahead and go up again. You kind of claw your way back out of that despair feeling, and then you work your way back down again, and you kind of slide back down. Either something else happens and you kind of get kicked back down again, or you just kind of slide into a depression because of the things that have happened. It could be either one. But I do feel like you have had some misfortunate events happen in your life recently. Some big changes. With the death card, that usually does not mean literal death, but I think in this case it may actually mean that you've dealt with some deaths in your family, or some recent death, or it could mean, with the death card, it usually means an ending or a change to something, and so I feel like for some of you it might be an ending to a career, or loss of a job, or your home. But I'm thinking job maybe, because of the Eight of Pentacles and the other Pentacle cards going on here. So if it's not a literal death you've been dealing with, it could mean losing your career or your job, and kind of being on, like I said, even the Two of Pentacles, for some reason, the way he's juggling, back and forth, I just feel like this whole seesaw roller coaster type of feeling, because we have the Ten of Swords, where, it's really interesting. This particular Ten of Swords card is so different than most of my other decks, where, usually it's somebody that's been stabbed so many times and they're laying out bleeding, it's obvious they're dead and they're gone. But on this particular card, I always see it as more of a metaphor of just having so many things just stabbing you in the back and getting you down on your knees, and you're just, almost defeated. And the Ten of Swords kind of has that energy in some respects, in that you've gone through all of these things, but it's the 10, so it's the completion, so it's coming to an end now as well. Also, the Swords cards deals with a lot of what's been on our mind, or what we're worried about, or sometimes not so much actual physical pain or real life things happening. It's more of what's been going on in our heads, or what we're worried about. So sometimes it has that energy or connotation to it. But I really feel like whenever this one shows up, it's almost like you feel like you just keep getting hit over and over again, and you're down, but you're not out. Because I also always see that with this card is, okay, yeah, you've been hit really hard over and over again, but you're not dead, first of all. So you're not totally down and out for the count. And second of all, you are on your knees, so you can rise back up and get up. And we do have some other cards that kind of show that as well. The Sun card in particular. The Sun card is one of the happiest, awesomest cards of the deck. And it's interesting how it kind of showed up right beside the Misfortune card and the Ten of Swords, kind of in between it. So I feel like even if you've had several misfortunes, several things that have knocked you down, you keep getting back up, you keep, fighting, you keep going on, you keep, having reasons to celebrate. When one door closes, another one opens, kind of thing. And I feel like you've kind of are in that situation where you have been on this, up and down kind of thing. But it's interesting how is always something else to lift back up for. Okay, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. Because we have the Ace of Cups, which just means, wonderful abundance, overflowing happiness. We have the Ace of Swords. Both of these aces are usually new beginnings, new starts. So we have the endings and the beginnings. So when things end, things can also begin again. So sometimes the endings or the misfortunes that you have suffered could lead to new beginnings and new starts to things. And that's interesting how I see that in the cards. We have the Three of Pentacles twice, which threes are, I love threes. Threes are like my very favorite number, but they're kind of a very magical number as well. They also deal a lot with community and creativity and, um, those kind of connotations to them. So they either deal with your community and bringing in your community, or being creative, or in the Three of Pentacles case, a lot of times you're being an apprentice, you're learning something from somebody else, you're learning a new craft, a new trade. So if it just does have to deal with your job, you could be going in to learn a new craft and a new trade. And the creativity is kind of amongst there too. Because we do see the hardship cards as well, with the Seven of Wands, having to get prepared for the hardship, the misfortune card, the Ten of Swords. Those cards kind of showed, the changes and the roller coasting up and down. But we also have, the Three of Pentacles twice. We have the two Aces. We have the Nine of Cups, which is showing a wonderful celebration coming. We have the Sun card. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is being hard at work. But in this case, also kind of showed almost as a meditation type card, like she's off on her own and doing her own thing and kind of in her own world. Maybe even kind of lost and not sure what time it is. She might have been working throughout the whole day and night. And I feel like some of you guys might be in that energy as well, where you're kind of just off on your own and doing your own thing right now because of the things that have happened. But it's interesting how I really see that you've been on this roller coaster ride, but we have more cards that show good times and good things than we do that show the things that we would consider bad. And there really is no true bad things in our lives. I know that's hard to realize sometimes, but usually any of the things that we consider bad or that make us feel bad, or kind of put us on that trajectory, whenever those things happen in our life, there's almost always something good attached to it. We may not see what it is right away. We might have to think about it or look at it a lot harder. But because of those things that happened, other things happen in our lives, and sometimes they're very, very good for us, and they're very good things. Either we learn something, or somebody new comes into our life that wouldn't have, or a different opportunity will open up to us. I'm going to give kind of a drastic example of this. My mother died when I was very young. I was just before I turned 13. But because she was sick and she was dying, we moved clear across the country. Things weren't going very well where I was originally born and lived. We had moved quite a bit as a childhood, and she was dying, and we moved clear across the country. And because of that, I was able to be more stable. I was able to live in a home and go to a school longer than I ever had beforehand. I grew up. I learned to be self-sufficient on my own. I met my future husband. I became a lot more stable and self-confident, which I had not been able to do before that time period happened. Now, obviously, when it happened, it was very painful. It hurt a lot of other things, attached to it that were also there. But there was a lot of good things attached to it as well. And later on in life, when I was able to look back on it and see how my life had changed and how different it would have been had she not been so sick and we had not moved, and if we stayed where we were, what might have changed and what might have been different, it was easy to see for me because my life was not going very well where I was at. So I could easily see the kinds of things that changed because of us making the move that we did. And so it was easier for me to see the kinds of things that happened for me that turned out to be really good things in my life because of this heartache and this misfortune. And we all have to go through heartaches and misfortunes in our life. Unfortunately, that's part of life, but it also helps us see the good things and appreciate the good things when they come up. And it also sometimes helps us, we learn certain things. Like I said, new opportunities come along. It's just, if you go back through the things in your life that you might consider bad, and these can be things that happened 10, 20 years ago, maybe don't look at the recent things because sometimes it's really hard to tell with real recent things. But if you look back at things that happened a long time ago and you think about it and you go, okay, well, what good could have come from this? And you just think about it and you just look at what good thing happened, or many good things, or a series of good things, or a progression of things that could have happened because of that misfortunate event or series of events in your life. And then you can start seeing a pattern that, okay, yeah, this was really rough, but hey, I learned to be strong. Okay. Or I met this person, or I was able to go and do this job instead, or I learned, how to do this thing that I didn't know how to do before. Or the thoughts and things can be endless on this. But if you go through that exercise, it's kind of a really good exercise to go through, because then you can see, okay, yeah, this was really rough. It was really hard, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody else. I don't want people to have to go through that too. But because of this at least happened for me. And by being able to do that, it puts things better in perspective for you. It helps you be able to enjoy the good things in life and not just dwell on the bad things, as we sometimes call them. We all have to deal with those good and bad things. We all have to deal with those things that happen to us, but that's what makes us a whole human being. It what makes life living, and also makes it worth living in the long run. And so that's just something that, like I said, I see this pattern of you kind of going up and down, and you kind of go downhill, and then you get brought back up. You might even emotionally bring yourself back up, and then something else brings you back down, or you bring it back down yourself, or you start dwelling back on these other bad things again. So I keep getting this up and down feeling from this. And sometimes that's a natural process too. Just going through that sometimes helps. But by you seeing this reading and coming upon this reading now, I just think you need to understand that whatever you have gone through, in the long run, there will be something or some types of things that will be useful to you or good for you from that, even though that thing is a bad thing or a unpleasant thing or whatever. I think that's kind of the message you need to hear from the reading, is that there are ups and downs. You will go through ups and downs. Things have happened, but that there will be good things that will happen from that. Okay, there always is. It's always there. I promise you. No matter what it is, there's always something that you can pull out of that is useful or good from that. I've never ran across a situation yet that I could not think of something that was good from it. Even the most horrible things that have happened in my life, and there have been quite a few. Even with those things, if I look back at them objectively, I can think of things that were good from that. And I think that's what you guys really need to hear from this message more than anything. Let's pull a few charms here, see if there's any other messages or other things that would be useful to you here. Okay, we have the word Wonderland, and we have Alice. So Alice in Wonderland. That is wonderful message in a way, because I think it goes with this reading so well. Because, Alice fell down, the rabbit hole, and she wasn't sure what was going on. And I feel like sometimes you guys have that in your life as well. You kind of have these ups and these downs and these whatever, and you're not even sure what's going on, because she went through a lot of crazy things before she got out of there. And some of them were like, whoa. And you guys might feel like that sometimes, where you're kind of in that Alice in Wonderland mode where you are just not sure what is happening. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? Why am I going through this? Everything's so foreign to me right now. But know that there is good at the end of that, and you will come out of this rabbit hole that you have found yourself in, or that you have fallen into. We also have the Four of Hearts, which is a much more stable card. It's also a family home life and also when I run across it, I think of family love and home, and that kind of goes with this here as well, which is a family's love is forever. And I think you guys need to hear that because some of what has been going on could be very family oriented or could be dealing with your family. And just know that no matter what, you will still love your family. They'll still love you. You know, you're just there together. That family bond, strong love is still there. Okay. And I think that's another message you all needed to hear. So there you go. And we also have Make a Wish. So that kind of goes along with the Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. That kind of fairy tale magic, because we also have the dragon energy and the balloons. And so with all of this here together, I see almost that your life could have a fairy tale type ending. And I don't mean ending as in the ending of your life. I just mean that this phase that you've been going through could have the fairy tale ending in that. You know, whenever we think of a fairy tale ending, we think, and they lived happily ever after kind of thing. Well, obviously, nobody ever lives happily ever after, and you were bound to have other things happen in your life at some point that will, you know, probably be considered bad or sad or difficult. But dealing with the situations that you've been dealing with recently and that you've been dealing with now, just know now is the time that you can make a wish for what you would like to have come about now, or what wish, like if it's job related, you know, make a wish of what type of job you'd like to do. You can have that happiness fairy tale ending to this situation. You know, we have the balloons, which is, you know, going up in the air. You know, I think of, you know, giving balloons to children and children's wishes, and then when you let them go, they fly up in the air and they, you know, just go on and on and on and on. And you can think of wishes like that too. So that's kind of the whole feeling we have going there, is that now is the time to make your life what you would like it to be. Utilize what you've gone through to help now move you forward to what you would like to form your life into now. Okay? Hopefully that message is one that makes sense to you all and something you can do. We're going to go on and get our answer to our Oracle Sphere now. So what we do is we think of a question, a yes or no type of question, something you've been wanting an answer to or you would like an answer to, or just kind of wonder about. And the answer needs to be one that would normally go on yes, no, maybe, possibly, you know, not now type of answers. So it needs to be a little bit more of a closed question. We do have 4 different stands that you can choose from for your answer to go on to. That way, other people watching the reading hopefully won't skew your answer too much. Hopefully everybody that picks, you know, the yellow stand will have the same answer, that kind of thing. So we have yellow, purple, blue, and green. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's, pick whichever one that you would like your answer to appear to and think of your question, and then we'll get our answers. Okay, number 1 here, yellow. The answer is yes. Number 2, purple. The answer is no. Number 3, blue. Oh, got an answer here. Wow. Number 3, blue, doesn't want to answer. Okay, here we go. We got a very likely. And number 4, green. And it looks like we got a maybe. Okay, so there's our answers. We got yellow, yes, purple, no, blue, very likely, and green, maybe. All right, well, those are our little messages we got today for our timeless reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope, you know, I really liked doing it, and I hope you guys got some good messages out of it. Please give the video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family. Maybe there'll be some messages for them as well in this pile or maybe one of the other piles. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of other timeless tarot readings on lots of different topics. We have videos on how to read tarot. We also have videos flipping through the different cards in our different card decks so you can see what they look like. And we have a few other miscellaneous videos on other spiritual topics as well. So check out our other videos and take a look at those. If you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a link in the description that PayPal you can do that in. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I welcome you to do so and to hit the bell icon that you can be notified of future videos when we put them out. All of those things help the channel grow, and it's very useful to us. We're still very, very small on YouTube, and that helps them decide to share our video with other people, and then other people can kind of see our videos and see what they think of them. Okay, guys, we look forward to seeing you again in future readings, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. This is the Timeless Tarot reading, in which we're going to do charms and oracle spheres later as well. And this is just kind of, I just thought it might be useful just to do a reading that wasn't on a specific topic, that it was just maybe messages that needed to come through or that people needed to hear, so that when they run across the video, they can get their messages. Okay, we got anger, the Fool, the Magician, the King of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Empress, the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, my goodness, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, wow. Wow, I see some decent, really cool stuff going on here. Okay, first of all, I kind of see that you guys have felt kind of defensive lately. That you feel like you may have been angry. That's possible. We do have the anger card, or maybe somebody's been angry at you. But I feel like you've had to be kind of defensive, kind of on guard for things coming at you, for people being angry with you, for you just felt like you needed to protect yourself. You felt like you've had your guard up, is what I kind of feel and see here. Okay. And there may have been some good reasons for that, we don't usually just feel that for no good reason. So, don't get me wrong here, but I'm thinking that now is the time to kind of let your guard down and kind of move forward with your life. And I think this could be, for a lot of you, career related, because there are so many Pentacle cards. But it just might mean something that you really care about, or are passionate about, or creative about, because there's a lot of creative energy going on in this reading as well. And this just might mean go through and be creative and go ahead and follow your creative pursuits. And honestly, I think that is the message for a lot of you. We have the Fool, the Magician, the Queen and King of Cups, okay, and the Empress. So and the Nine of Pentacles, which is also kind of a manifestation, Mother Earth energy. So what I'm kind of getting here is, I think it's time for you guys to get out of the defensive mode that you've been in, the closed off mode, I feel like you've been bottling something up. And it's interesting how we get the anger card, because I see that kind of as going along with, if you bottle up something so much it makes you angry, or if you have anger that you've been bottling up, these other creative energies and other things can't come out. They can't come through. So basically, by being defensive, by being angry, by trying to close yourself off from what you really want to do is affecting you in such a way. And it doesn't need to anymore, because we have all of these wonderful, oh my goodness, so many wonderful manifestation cards, to where basically you guys are big manifestors. You guys can create the world that you want to live in. You guys can create your own reality. You may have read across other readings that have said this to you, because I've said it in a few other readings in the past on certain piles, and I have looked at readings, had readings where I go watch other people, and every once in a while that will pop up in somebody's reading. But I see it so well in this group here that you guys are big time manifestors. You guys can create your own reality, basically. And we have the Fool card. And a lot of times when that pops up, it just means going out and doing things that other people might not consider a good idea. And with so many creative cards in here, I sometimes see that maybe it's time for you to go out and follow your creative idea. Okay, so if you guys have been thinking of something creative to do, either for a living, because this is got a lot of pentacles in here, so it could be something that you want to make money off of, or just something that you enjoy doing a lot and you want to spend a lot of time doing it. And this could be writing, this could be a YouTube channel, this could be making films, basically anything that you have wanted to put your heart and soul into, especially if it's a creative pursuit of some sort, and you have not done so because either you've been told over and over again that's a stupid idea. You can't see. I almost get the idea, because this is an old-fashioned person kind of getting angry at their child, and I almost feel like maybe your parents have said, that's stupid, you can't go out and do that, that's no way to make a living, or whatever, because I hear that a lot. That just comes through greatly. A lot of times parents will say that kind of thing because they want what's best for their children, and they don't realize that not letting their children do what they're meant to do in this world is more detrimental to them. And so what I'm here to tell you is, if there is something like that that you have been wanting to pursue or wanting to do, or you feel it in your heart, go and do it. Don't stop yourself from doing this. It could be something that will actually make you money. It could be something that could be quite lucrative to you, or if nothing else, emotional happiness is in the offering here with the Queen and King of Swords, or Cups, the Queen and King of Cups. So, but with the Magician and the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles and these other cards, you guys have this manifestation energy. You guys can manifest. We do have the 5 and the 7, which earlier I said were defensive cards, but they're also change cards. They're changing the way you think of things. 5s and 7s can kind of change our world, to bring changes about, and I believe that now is the time for that. We also have the teeter-totter here with the 2 of Pentacles, so that kind of shows balance. You guys have been kind of unbalanced with this anger emotion, or with this closed off emotions that you've been having, this defensive thing, and just all of this creative energy and all of this other stuff going on. And I just feel like now's the time to get a hold of that magic that you have, that manifestation magic, and just go with it. That creative energy you have, just go out and do it. Don't let anybody stop you from following your heart and your dreams and your wishes and what you want to do. That's not good for anybody, and that's what you all need to do. We have some charms here. I'm going to go through and pick some charms and see if there's any other messages that might be useful to you. Also, we're going to do our Oracle Sphere here in a moment, so you can be thinking of your yes-no type of question that you want to ask and get an answer to. Okay, what kind of charms did we get today? Well, we got the Alice. That's interesting. She came up in the first reading. And we got beautiful. See, that's kind of nice with the creative energy. I see you almost being able to create something beautiful. We also have the musical note, which is another creative, energy, being able to be creative. We have the acorns here, which goes along with the Fool card and creating things as well, because acorns, grow into big, strong oak trees. We also have believe and beautiful. So creating beautiful things and believing that you're beautiful and can create beautiful things, that's really important here too. We also have the Seven of Cups. Seven's another change card, so changing how you feel about things around, because cups is our emotions. Live in the moment, so yeah, don't just dream of dreams down the future and not live and enjoy your life now. Live in the moment and what you can get out of this moment now. We also have the reindeer, which is another magical manifestation type of energy because of Christmas and how they can manifest. Let's see what else we have here. We have the skull and crossbones, which I feel like is just saying that there is something there that's holding you back. You need to be careful of the pitfalls there. You need to, try not to fall into that trap and that, pirate trap there. We have a PR, which could be initials, or we also have RP. Whichever way they might mean something to you, a word might pop into your head when you see those, that kind of thing. We have a couple of keys here, and it's interesting. We have hearts on one, and we also have the crown on the other. Heart would be the emotion and what you can get, and then the crown. It's interesting how we also had the Queen and King of Cups. The Queen and King of Cups, they've reached the top of their suit, and the cups deal very much with our emotions and our relationships and our intuition. So you guys have lots of intuition as well as your manifestation energy and our imagination and all that. So by having the keys here that show, the love and this, that just shows me you have the key to your happiness and to being the king and queen and being on top of your emotional happiness. You have that key. And that's just kind of, where I see that. But we also have the sheep here, which, the sheep kind of go off on their own and they're quiet and they don't do much. They're kind of meek. And you guys may be doing kind of sheepish things where you're not really going out and following your heart and doing what you want. Because we also have some other things that show how much emotional and intuitive energy you have and following your heart. We have the heart here that's got the moon and the star and the planet in it. So that just shows how emotional you can be, but it also shows how intuitive you can be, which these other cards showed that as well. So, but that also shows the creative energy. And we also have the wolf, which often shows up on the moon card. So that just kind of shows that to me. We also have the kitty with the heart. So that just, this particular kitty is smiling and is very happy and it has a heart. And so I just kind of see that as, if you have a little kitten, if you like animals at all, if you have a little kitten and they're happy and they're smiling at you, it makes you smile, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel happy. And I just kind of feel like this is just showing how happy you can be and how emotionally happy. We have two different feathers here. And when the feathers show up, to me, they're messages from spirit. They're kind of just saying, hey, we're here with you. We see what you're doing. We'll help you along. We're going to be your muse. We're going to, be with you. But also, these feathers can also denote creativity as well. So, look to spirit to help guide you in this, because I think that's important. We also have a tennis shoe here, which it's interesting because this particular shoe is kind of a basketball style, And, you think of somebody going out and doing sports, and so maybe that's your passion. It could be something sports related that you want to go out and do, and maybe you're just really, really good at it, but, they're like, well, hey, not very many people go out and become a professional athlete or whatever. And so maybe you've been giving up on your dreams on that. So maybe it isn't something creative. Maybe it's something, maybe you are very good at it, which, kind of shows some creative, an intuitive spirit. Because to be good at a good athlete, sometimes you need to be intuitive, like almost know where the ball's going to be or what to do next. And so that's just kind of a message for a select few of you that, are kind of into the athletic part of this. We also have what's for you will not pass you by. So if you're meant to do this and get money from it or do something with it, it will come to you. Okay, so just know that that's something that sometimes we're thinking, well, if I follow this pursuit, I won't make any money and I'll just be poor the rest of my life. But if you're meant to have money or do things with it, it will come to you. But following what you're meant to do in this life and what you feel like you should do in this life is going to get it to you better than if you don't. Okay, so that's just kind of important for you to know there. Okay, now we have our question here where you can follow your oracle sphere. And basically what this is that if you have a yes or no type of question, something you've been wanting an answer to, be thinking of that, what you'd like your answer to, and then pick a stand. We have yellow, purple, blue, and green. So whichever one you pick, that's where your answer should be. And then that way different people can get different answers. And hopefully it won't skew your answer, for the people that watch this. So here we go. Number one's answer is yes. So yellow, yes. And then we've got purple is next. Purple answer is a maybe. And then we got a blue answer, or blue number 3 answer is a not now. So that doesn't necessarily mean no. It just means that things aren't quite ready at the moment. Maybe some other circumstances need to change around before that can happen. And we threw out 2 answers here. But that one was a not now, so I'm going to assume that one was for 3. And then we have a very likely. Okay. So, we got a yes, maybe, not now, and very likely. Okay, well, those are what we have for the reading today. I really hoped you enjoyed it and got some good messages out of it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Also share this video with your friends and family. Maybe there'll be some good messages for them in here. Or you could share our channel with them at least, because we do have a lot of other videos. They're tarot pick-a-pile readings on lots of different topics. And most of them are timeless, so they might get some good messages out of one of them. That's useful to the channel. Leave comments in the comments section as well. All of those things help YouTube decide to share our video with other people, and it helps the channel grow, which we really, really appreciate. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to do so now. You can also hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos when they come out. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a link in the description to PayPal. Okay, guys, we look forward to seeing you again in the future, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading, those of you that chose the gray shell. And remember, this is just a timeless reading, and any messages that come through should be ones that you need to hear. I did not want to do on any specific topic this week. I just felt like whatever came through would be important, so I figured we'd go ahead and do that. All right, first thing we have here is Lover, Strength, the 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the 2 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Wands again. Well, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, but the 7 of Cups, the Strength card again, okay, And the strength card again. Oh my goodness. Strength card 3 times. That doesn't happen very often. We have the 7 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Okay. Had some extra cards here, I think. Whew. Well, the strength card coming up 3 times like that, you know, I have 3 different decks, just really shows me that you either need a lot of strength right now, that there's been a lot going on that has required you to be very strong, or you just are very, very strong, or you need to in the future. So let me think about this for a minute, because I'm trying to see how this flows in here, because with this 7 of Cups, I feel like a few of you may have had some things that have forced you to be strong, but because we also have the 7 of Wands here, and 7s denote change. Also, in this case, the 7 of Wands is a defensive card. The 7 of Cups might deal a little bit with some worrisome things. But in his case, he's manifesting all really good stuff in his cups. So that's good. We also have the 10 of Cups, which is a wonderful emotional fulfillment card. So I'm thinking, this is interesting. With the 8 of Pentacles here, she's hard at work, but she's working on her own at home, quietly, steadily. It's a way to help her get her mind off of things, I think. It's not so much, it's important. I get the feeling it's important, but I also just feel like it's a kind of a retreat kind of thing almost. But, wow. We have 2 Knights, Knights of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. And the 2 of Wands. Okay. I think you guys have been feeling... Okay, the word spinster popped into my head a little bit, and I think this card kind of triggered that. And then we also have the Lover card. I think that symbolism, and I'm not saying you guys are spinsters or anything like that, but that symbolism of being on your own, being alone, you know, kind of doing things alone at night, at home, because you have not had anybody else to share it with or do anything with. You know, and maybe you've been a little bit on the defensive side with the 7 of Wands here. And maybe even feeling kind of sparse and lonely, you know, resting. I kind of get this respite feeling, because we have the 4 of Swords, which is a resting kind of energy. And this is kind of a restful kind of occupation, you know, sewing. She's kind of sitting there sewing. So I feel like either you guys have been retreating from the world a little bit, and you're just kind of sitting there, and being quiet. Now I'm getting things. Sometimes these flashes come in really quick. I get the feeling that some of you guys maybe even had to be stuck at home taking care of family members, like elderly parent or something like that, and so you could not pursue the kind of things that you wanted to in your life, especially, you know, over the last year, 2, 3, maybe. And you've had to have quiet strength. And that's where the strength card has come in. It's interesting. Like I said, it's tripled up. It's really strong. So you're very strong souls, and also have had to be strong. But the good news is, what I really like about this reading is we have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. And Knights I think of as, you know, charging forward and bringing forth and fighting for us. And you also kind of almost think of, Prince Charming type of character. So I almost think if this is love related, if you guys have not had much in the way of love and a love life, or you've wanted to have a love life recently and you haven't been able to due to circumstances beyond your control, like I said, being stuck at home or having to deal with it or having to rest, or maybe even some of you guys have been ill a little bit, and so you haven't been able to follow those kind of pursuits. I do think that there's good news coming on that front, in that somebody that you really care about could be on its way, or that you'll meet them. Just stay strong and stay tough, because they're going to come. Okay? The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands kind of give me that feeling of, the Prince Charming, the hero, the somebody that's fearless will show up and kind of help you, or give you, or work with your strength, or give you extra strength to do this. And that's where the Ten of Cups, emotional happiness, comes in, because we have the Seven of Cups, and this particular Seven of Cups cards, he's a magician and he's manifesting things that he wants, or would like to have. And they're all very good things in his cup. Sometimes the Seven of Cups has energy of good and bad things, in that we can attract to us good and bad things, because the law of attraction says that, and that we can do that. But that this Seven of Cups, he's got rainbows and kittens and butterflies and castles and, good things. Really happy, awesome things. So he's able to manifest that. And I feel like you guys can too. We have the Queen of Swords here. And the Queen is kind of at the top of her game. And with the Swords cards, that deals a lot of our knowledge, our ideas, our mind, the way we think of things. And so I think you guys can bring forth, you have this quiet strength. This Queen of Swords has this quiet strength. And I with all these strength cards, I just kind of see that. You guys have this quiet strength. And you've had to. Okay? You've had to have that. But I do feel like we have the Two of Wands. And the Wands cards deals with our passions and those kinds of things. And the Two energy deals with couples and bringing of the two type energy together. And since I felt like this might be a love interest for a lot of you, or at least getting what you want, if it's not a love interest, but I think it is for several of you. I think the Two kind of symbolizes that. Okay, so I love how the Strength card here almost looks like a Knight card, how she, is able to go off and charge. And so, but these particular Knight cards, they're not off charging so much. I mean, he looks like he might be a little bit, but they're a little bit more calm, and she's flying into it. And I love that, because it's almost like you have this quiet strength, represented here, and then there's some physical strength here, but then there's also just this passion, so much passion inside of you, that can come forward. And when you meet the right person, it can be just this wonderful union. And so I feel like that can happen, and it should happen, and you can start working towards manifesting that. You can start working towards getting what you want, or getting the love relationship that you want, if it's not, something else, if it is a love relationship. Okay, let's go and pick out some charms here. See if we have any other little messages here that might help you guys out. We also have our oracle spheres here, so you can be thinking of a yes or no type of question. Okay, let's see what came up. Oh, got a couple charms hooked together here. Wow. All right. Oh, that's a pretty purple flower. We have the number 12. We have the heart kitty. We have the bicycle. We have a heart. We have a D and a B and an O. So D-O-B or B-O-D, or, you know, those could be initials. Those could kind of spell out words. And we have warrior. Wow, we have lots of strength stuff going on here. You know, that just keeps coming through over and over again. We also have the kitty, star kitty, which, you know, wish upon a star, you know, being able to manifest what you want. We also, the bicycle, I see so much as going on a journey, you know, getting out into the fresh air. I'm thinking you kind of need to do that. You know, go on a new adventure. Go out and be kind of carefree for a bit. I think that's really important. With this purple flower, I just see beauty. We have a couple of the different hearts here. 12s are kind of an interesting number. They're right after the master number 11, which is interesting because, you know, those deal a lot with, you know, creating things and doing that. The two ones together. This is a 1 and a 2 together, which makes a 3 when you add them together. But I also, in this case, this is really weird, but I almost see the 1 turning into 2. Okay, and I think that kind of goes along with, you know, the lover thing we were talking about earlier. So be that strong warrior person. Have the strength it takes to get out and do this, because maybe that's it. Maybe you guys did not know you were strong enough to go out and, you know, you're thinking of your meek person and you're, you know, a homebody. You don't want to get out. You don't want to meet other people. You're worried. You're afraid. That kind of thing. But go out and do that. You know, get that adventure. That's what the bicycle there is telling us. So that's just kind of the message I think you all need to hear here. Okay, we have 4 different stands here. We have the blue, the yellow, the green, and the purple. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And basically you pick whichever stand you want your answer to come out on and be thinking of a yes or no type of question, a question that has a yes or no type of answer that could apply to it. And we will get our answers here for you guys. Okay, number 1, blue, is a not now. Okay, that's not a definite no. Just means that things aren't quite ready at the moment. It might mean a no down the road, but basically it just means that maybe some things have to fall into place differently before it can happen or whatever. Then we have a probably. We have a not likely. And then number 4 is also not likely. Okay, so the blue is not now, the yellow is probably, the green is not likely, and the purple is not likely. All right, well, that's the answers we have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading and got some useful messages out of it. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of different timeless tarot readings on lots of different topics that you might check out or might be interested in. We also have videos on how to read tarot cards. We have videos that go flip through some of the different decks so that you can see what they look like, as well as some other miscellaneous videos on different spiritual topics. Share this video with your friends and family, or at least share the channel with them so that they can check out our videos, and we might have some good messages for them as well. And leave comments in the comment section. Give the video a thumbs up. All of those things are very useful to the channel. It helps the channel grow with YouTube. It helps them decide to share our video with other people. And it's very much appreciated, and we very much like that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I invite you to do so now. It is free, and you can hit the bell icon and you can be notified of any future videos when they come out. If you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a link in the description to PayPal that you can do that with. And that's all I have for Pile 3 today. We look forward to seeing you in future videos. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye.